Welcome to the Porky Podcast. I am your host, Chris Ellis. Porky.co is the way to go in creating rides and connecting riders. Porky's platform technology helps you to find, meet, ride with your motorcycle tribe. This Porky Podcast is sponsored by Rolling Thunder Harley Davidson. Visit rollingthunder.co.nz and choose your flavor of Harley Davidson freedom. Today's guest on the Porky Podcast is Craig Urquhart, who is the Regional New Zealand Director for Harley Owners Group, otherwise known as HOG. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
Pleasure, Chris.
Awesome. Let's get right into it. So, Craig, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, Chris, my riding career started very early when I was 8 years of age, and I've been involved with HOG now for the past 10 years. I was fortunate enough to be appointed Regional Director for HOG New Zealand in November of this year. My role is to represent all of those HOG members, Harley owners throughout New Zealand.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard in that new role as your Regional NZ HOG Director. You said you started riding at about 8. Tell us a story about when you were riding at 8.
A long story, but basically my father was a motorcycle rider, and he brought home a Benelli 50 at the age of 8 years of age. I rode that thing to death around the backyard, and I progressed through there to 125s, 250s, 500s. I've ridden all my life, albeit I had some time off from family commitments, but my Harley experience started about 10 years ago with a anniversary deuce.
Awesome. So anniversary deuce, 2003 anniversary deuce was your first Harley?
It was indeed.
Excellent. What's the current bike you're riding now?
Currently ride a 2015 Street Glide.
Awesome. So what made you make the jump from something like a soft tail deuce moving up into the baggers?
Having originated from the South Island, I ride the South Island every year, traditionally with a group of mates. And having ridden there for about 7 years in a row, I decided that being beaten up after 14 days on the road, it was time to get behind a fairing, enjoy some comforts. So I purchased the Street Glide. Yeah,
definitely. It's pulling those big K days is where the baggers really are leaps and bounds ahead of everything else.
Absolutely.
Have you had any bikes in between that anniversary deuce and your current Street Glide?
No, I don't, but I have been gathering a collection of vintage bikes.
Oh, awesome. What do you got in the shed?
I currently got a 1942 WL. That bike was one of the 360 that were made outside of the military effort between 1939 and 1945.
Oh, that sounds pretty special, because I know, during the war effort kept Harley and Indian afloat with WLA and the 741 Bravo. I didn't realize there were any bikes made outside the war effort. Tell us a bit about that.
I understand there was 362 bikes. This bike actually came from Canada, and I imported it about 4 years ago. And it's I've ridden it a few times, but it's really a showpiece that I've purchased. I've invested in some precious metal.
Oh, brilliant! If you were to add one more bike in your dream garage, what do you reckon you'd chuck in it?
Well, there is another one there, Chris. I've recently purchased a 1927 J Harley. That is a one owner that was a barn find, ironically, in South Canterbury.
Oh, fantastic. Is it in running condition, or is it one of those sort of long-term projects?
It is in running condition, albeit it's stripped down at the moment, and we're currently rebuilding it, and hopefully it'll tick like a clock when we're finished.
Excellent. So what's your why? Why do you ride?
I ride for freedom. I ride to get out there and enjoy the world, see new places, meet new people.
And why do you reckon it's worth the trip? Because it takes a fair bit of time, effort, and money to go to the trouble riding in it. Why is it worth the effort?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you're born a biker, and once you've been out there and felt it, then it's hard to stay off the road.
Outstanding. So what would you call your hometown for you is where?
Currently I'm living in Auckland. I have been there for the last 20 years. Been there for reasons of business more than anything. I originated from Invercargill.
So what would you call your favorite ride? If you had to pick one, what would it be?
It would be the Buller Gorge, one of the most spectacular rides and one that I ride every year.
So we've just gone through the last couple of weeks. There's been 2 big rides on. You want to tell us about those 2?
Yeah, we've been holding the Great Northern Muster in Rotorua, which was held last weekend, Labour weekend of 2019. It was first of the HOG regional rallies. It was an event that went off really well, but I was fortunate enough to have the Friday and the Monday to ride to and from, and took the long way. So yeah,
awesome.
Enjoyed the case.
So for the Northern Muster in Rotorua, I heard there was a pretty good size Thunder Ride. Tell us a bit about that Thunder Ride up there.
Yeah, that Thunder Ride had about 300 odd bikes in it. We departed from the Rotorua Events Centre and we rode the circumference of Lake Rotorua, ending up at the Nongataha Tavern, which is a cultural experience in itself.
Awesome. So for down in the Southern Roar, we didn't have a Thunder Ride, but there was 4 big rides on. Did you go on one of those?
Absolutely. I couldn't resist the Lake Coleridge ride, and it's an area road that I haven't ridden. And I have to say, riding up that valley yesterday with the sun shining, looking into the Southern Alps without a snow clad, it was just magnificent.
And we've literally just gotten off the bikes, riding together, coming back from Methven. So what is the next ride in store?
The next ride for me, I'm fortunate enough to be going to Walker in Australia, which is kind of New South Wales, Queensland border, 200 k's inland from Goffs Harbour. And I will be riding Australia come next week for 10 days.
Oh, excellent. And then in the new year, anything coming up for HOG Harley rides here in New Zealand?
Yeah, I'm pleased to be able to advise that there's return of the HOG National Rally. It's going to be held in Ohakune on 13, 14, 15 of March. It's a return of that national event, and it's going to be awesome, Chris.
I've been up Ohakune, spent a lot of time in Waiuru and up around Ruapehu. It's an absolutely beautiful spot. Without giving too much away, maybe this ties in well with my final question is, what do you have on your soundtrack when you're riding? What kind of music do you play?
Well, I enjoy ZZ Top when I'm out there in 6th gear and 3,000 revs, but I also enjoy a bit of Barnsey.
Excellent. Yeah, we had the nightlife at Southern Roar. We had a great local regional band here called the Atomies. They did a brilliant job. Can you give away anything with what's coming up next year in Ohakune, or we got to wait to find out?
Well, right now we've got three bands on our playlist. I can't give it away; they're not yet confirmed, but I can tell you that it will be something different, something well known. They will be a New Zealand recognised act as our headline act. And I think it'll be a party worth going to, Chris.
Awesome. Sounds like it's coming together. And thanks for joining us, Craig, and thanks for sharing your rider story. I'm definitely looking forward to our next ride up in Ohakune. Thanks for listening to the Porky Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest rider on the show and share your rider story, if you want to recommend another guest rider, or if you need any help or have any feedback with the Porky app, email us at info.porky.co. If you enjoyed the Porky Podcast, please leave us a positive review on your favorite podcast platform. Find a ride on Porky.co, meet other local riders, and ride safe. One final thing, Craig, is there anywhere where listeners can find you and HOG online? What would you recommend they do?
HOG New Zealand Facebook page is now up and running, and you will see all the things that the Harley owners are doing throughout the nation on HOG New Zealand Facebook page. Also, thundermountainNZ.com is live, and there is some teasers on there in terms of the run sheet for Ohakune in March. So, Chris, welcome any communications, and look forward to an awesome event and return of the National HOG Rallies.
Awesome. And if anybody's interested in joining HOG, how do they go about doing it?
The HOG chapters throughout New Zealand all have Facebook pages. A lot of them have web pages with membership details there, or they can rock into their local dealership and their dealer can point them towards the HOG membership officer.
Awesome. Thanks for joining the show, Craig.
Pleasure, mate. All ride safe.
Everybody ride safe. Take care.